Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class in this chapter gravitation, we have started with the chapter and we have understood the term gravitation. We understood that how the gravitation act between the two objects, and also there is a law which act between the two objects which is kept far apart from each other, having different masses, and that we called as a universal law of gravitation, in which the force is which is acting, exerting by one of the object on the other the other object on the first one will it will be directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This is what that is the force of a gravitation, and this law is what it is applicable everywhere. That's why it is called as a universal law of gravitation. Here, while removing the proportionality, we get a constant, and that is a gravitational constant, which is represented by capital G. And this capital G does not depend upon the medium between the object, as well as it does not depend upon the mass, the different masses of the two objects, as well as the distance between the two objects. Capital G, its value is 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. The unit of the gravitational constant we came to know, that is Newton meter square per kg is square. There are some of the questions which is related to the universal law of gravitation. Let us see the numericals related to it. So the question is, calculate the force of gravitation due to Earth on a ball of 1 kg mass lying on the ground, Here, mass of the earth is given, and that is 6 into 10 the power 24 kg. Then the radius of the earth is also given. That is 6.4 into 10 the power 3 kilometer. 10 the power 3 kilometer, and then capital G is given, which is 6.7 into 10 the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, so force of a gravitation that we have to find out of a ball of a mass 1 kg. Here, what are the things which is given? So, mass of the object, if we represent it by m1, so it will be m1 is given, that is mass of ball, and it is equals to 1 kg. Then m2 is given, which is the mass of earth, and that is equals to 6 into 10 the power 24 kg. Then radius, this is represented by small r only. Here, radius of the earth is given, and this is equals to 6.4 into 10 the power 3 kilometer. Now, since it is given in kilometer, we have to convert it into meter. So simply we will going to multiply it with 1000. So it will become 6.4 into 10 the power 3 into 1000 kilometer. So it will be equals to 6.4 into 10 the power 6 kilometer. This is what? This is the radius of the earth. Another thing is given, that is G. Capital G is equals to 6.7 into 10 the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, this is the value of the thing which is given here in the question. Now let us try to put the values in the formula of a universal law of gravitation. So F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square, right? Here F is equals to G, value of G is 6.7 into 10 the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square into m1 is given, that is 1 kg, into 6 into 10 the power 24 kg upon 6.4 into 10 the power 6 meter. Okay, so this is the value given. So it is 6.4 into 10 the power 6. Now here it is r square, so it will be square. Okay, ultimately we can also write it like 6.4 10 the power 6 square meter square. Now this meter square will get cancelled. Kg, this is kg square, so this kg and this kg per square will cancel each other. Ultimately, what will be left behind? So you can see F is equals to 10 the power minus 11 and 10 the power minus 24 is there, student, and it is 6 into 2, that is 12. So you can write here. So F will be equals to, it is 6.7 into 6 into, now see here it will be 10 the power minus 11 is there into 10 the power 24 is there, and here it will be divided by 6.4 into 6.4 into 10 the power 12. Okay, so first of all we will going to solve the power one. Now see here, F will be equals to, so this will be equals to, this will goes to the numerator, it will become 10 the power minus 12, right? And this minus 11 minus 12, 6.7 into 6 into 10 the power minus 23 into 10 the power 24 upon 6.4 into 6.4. This 23 and this 24, it will become into 10. Okay, so we can also write it as 6 into 10, that is into 60. So 6.7 into 60 divided by 6.4 upon 6.4. The answer that we get by this, it will be, F will be equals to, see it is still Newton, it is still in Newton, so the answer will be 9.8 Newton. Okay, 9.8 Newton will be the answer. Now let us see another example here in which one of the mass is larger than the other. So whenever a question is asked in which the forces are, the masses are given of the two objects, the radius is given, it will be easy because the gravitational constant is known to us. So with the help of this formula, we are able to get the force of attraction existing between the two objects. Now let us see another example. And here the mass of the earth is 6 into 10 the power 24 kg, and that of the moon is 7.4 into 10 the power 22 kg. Mm. 7.4 into 10 the power 22 kg. Not only this, the distance between the moon and the earth be 3.84 into 10 the power 5 kilometer. 10 the power 5 kilometer. Calculate the force exerted by the earth on the moon. G is equals to 6.7 into 10 the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. This is what? This is the question is given you. Now we have to find the solution. See, question is that the mass of the earth is given, student, and that is 6 into 10 the power 24 kg, and the mass of the moon is given, that is 7.4 into 10 the power 22 kg. We have to find the distance between the earth. The distance of the earth is also given. We have to find the force exerted by the earth on the moon. So m1 is equals to what? Suppose this is the mass of the earth, and the mass of the earth is given 6 into 10 the power 24 kg. Here m2 is equals to mass of the moon, and this is given as a 7.4 into 10 the power 22 kg, and the distance is given, that is r. It is radius of earth. Sorry, the distance is simply given. So if the distance is given r, this is equals to 3.84 into 10 the power 5 kilometer, or we can say 3.84 into 10 the power 5 into 10 the power 3 meter. We can also write it 3.84 into 10 the power 8 meter. Then capital G is equals to 6.7 into 10 the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, these are what? These are the force, these are the given in the question. Now let us find out the force exerted by the earth on the moon. So F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square. It is 6.7 into 10 the power minus 11. I'm not writing the unit, student. I hope you will be able to understand. Even in the first question I had shown that how the Newton came as an answer. Into mass m1 is given, that is 6 into 10 the power 24 into mass of the moon is given, that is 7.4 into 10 the power 22 divided by r square. R square is 3.84 into 10 the power 8 the whole square meter square also. right? Since we are not writing the units. In question it is very important to write the unit although. So the answer will be 2.01 into 10 the power 20 newtons. 2.01 into 10 the power 20 newtons. Okay. So if the question will be asked related to the universal law of gravitation, I hope you will be able to solve it. Now let us move on and see the another topic, that how gravitational one is not only there between the small masses but also between the larger masses. See, gravitation, it is not there to hold the or it is not existing between the two objects which is having a small masses, but even in the celestial object in a solar system, you see the planets, they revolve around the sun. Even if we talk about the moon, which is a satellite, a natural satellite that also moves in an orbit around the earth. So what happened? The celestial body are quite large. They are having a large mass. So the force of attraction is there, and yes, the force of attraction between them will help them to revolve around the sun. Okay, so planets are able to revolve around the sun because of the force of attraction existing between these two large masses. Similarly, the moon and earth is also having a force of attraction existing between them, due to which it can move easily, it can revolve easily around that of earth. Here, one more thing that we have to understand, student, you have heard about the high tides, sea waves or high tides. Basically, it occurred due to the force of gravitation exerted by that of the moon and sun on the sea level. Okay, due to which the water, it goes in, it rises up. Okay, causing a high tide. So we can say here that it is the gravitational force between the sun and earth which keeps the earth in uniform circular motion. Okay, so it is the gravitational forces, actually it is the gravitational force between the sun and the earth which keeps the earth in a uniform circular motion. So what happened? Since the earth, it revolves around it, exerted force of attraction between them, making it to revolve easily. Okay, even the forces which is exerted by the sun and the moon is responsible for the high tides. So this one we also can include here. So The tides in the sea form formed by the rising and falling of water level in a sea are due to the gravitational force. Gravitational force of attraction, which the moon and sun exert on the water surface in the sea. Exert on the water surface of the sea. Okay, so high tides, it is formed because of the force of attraction. Force is exerted by that of the sun and the moon on the sea. Now let us try to understand here one more thing, that is Newton's third law and gravitation. Newton's third law on gravitation. What is the Newton's third law of motion? According to Newton's third law of motion, it explains that every object exerts an equal and opposite amount of a force. Okay, so if one force is applied by an object, the other force will going to also apply an equal and opposite amount of a force here. Similarly, in case of the gravitation also, when the force of a gravitation is exerted by one of the objects, the other object will also exert an equal amount of the force. Although yes, the masses are different due to which it happens, but here the concept that we have to understand is somehow different. See how the masses are related with the acceleration. So first of all, we must know that every object apply an equal and opposite amount of a force, as we have seen in case of a Newton's third law of motion. The same thing can be applied in case of a gravitation. It means if suppose when you throw a stone from a higher altitude, then what happened? It will falls downward. Why it is falling downward? It is because a force of attraction is exerting by the earth on the stone, and due to which it is coming downward. Okay, but what about the stones? Does the stone also exert a force on it? Yes, stone will also exert a equal and opposite amount of a force on the earth and pulling it in the upward direction. Question arises that if it is exerting an equal amount of a force, then why we cannot see the earth is moving in an upward direction? So here comes the Newton's second law of motion. According to Newton's second law of motion, force is equals to mass into acceleration. It means acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass of the object. So if the mass of the object is more, acceleration will be less, and if mass of the object will be less, acceleration will be more. And since the mass of the earth is very large. So here the acceleration is almost negligible, and there is no acceleration, there is no movement at all. So even though the stone is applying a lot of a force, but yes, since the mass is really large, so acceleration will be less. Just opposite case, see, in case of a stone is having very less mass, so the acceleration produced will be very high, and ultimately we can see the stone is moving in the downward direction. Okay, so according to Newton's third law, every object applies equal and, or we can say opposite, equal and opposite force. Every action has similarly an object applies force of attraction on an other object is other object, then the other object will also applies force. Here if we say that the force of attraction on one object, force of attraction on other object, then the other object will also apply a force which on it, which is equal and opposite, which is equal and opposite. So question is, then why a stone is not moving towards it? So here, according to Newton's second law, acceleration is equals to F by m, right? It means if an object is having large mass, it will have less acceleration. It will have less acceleration, while if an object is having less mass, it will have, or it will show, more acceleration. Earth being large object having large mass, thus having large mass, thus acceleration is negligible. Why? The stone coming towards its having less mass, so acceleration is more. Okay, so since it is coming towards the earth, its acceleration is more because of less mass.